So we just wasted an hour and a half of our life on House of the Dead, which is a movie from 2003 based off a game. We were at the game store, and I'm like, hey, we should go totally find some horror movies to watch, right? And we couldn't find anything else that we haven't already seen or we want to get on DVD. And I see House of the Dead, and I'm like, oh, what's this? And we get it, and oh my fucking God.
It's a 10 out of 10.
It's not a 10 out of 10. It is not a 10 out of 10.
It's a 10 out of 10 for a comedy.
Yeah, if you're fucking high or stupid. And Busboy over here forgets his mic. And, you know.
Yeah, we recorded.
We recorded the entire movie for us, our reaction, which was great. There was funny shit in there, but no.
Until it didn't pick up our audio.
And now I can't look at you straight. Just like Greg. So. No. Is it echoing?
Are we going to give a summary of the movie?
So it's about these characters that
we don't care about.
We don't remember their names enough to freaking care about them.
We just finished the movie not even 20 minutes ago.
So I think it's Simon, Greg, Alicia, the one girl that literally dies towards the end, and Rudy. And of course Greg's girlfriend that looks like a knockoff Paris Hilton from House of Wax. They'll go to this party on this island called the Gathering. That sounds like a cult name.
Oh, pretty much.
And they just start dying one by one. And of course, for some reason in the movie, they keep showing the game clips. There'll be like little first-person shooting parts from the game out of nowhere. The fight scenes are terrible. They're like Matrix, but worse. Like, that's how bad they are. And on top of that, it's like they'll literally have a game over style screen for when somebody dies, which only 2 to 3 characters get.
There's 8 different characters and only 2 get the game over.
I'm sure we'll pull it up later and be like, wait a minute. But it's like, and then they die so easily. Like Rudy, which is the guy that's telling the story, sees Liberty die, and he's just standing there like, damn, that sucks.
By the way, spoiler alert for everybody, because we just said everybody dies basically. That's the moral of the movie. Everybody.
Yeah. Let's just get it right off the bat. Only the 2 characters. Well, I like Alicia.
Yeah, Alicia's not bad. Although
Rudy sucks ass. Literally has 2 people die in front of him. Is like, damn.
He literally says he lets 2 people die, and is like, you know what?
I'm not gonna let this happen again. I will not be caught lacking again.
And then proceeds to let 3 more people die.
Yeah. Get caught lacking in 4K multiple times. And the sad part is, like, all the good characters die except for the few that we don't care about. Except for Alicia and Rudy. And it's like, what the fuck was this shit? I literally, like, Simon is sitting there, dying. He doesn't even die. Simon is not dying. Simon gets spit.
He's literally a zombie. He's grabbing him through the window. He hasn't been bit or nothing. A zombie just has him in the window.
He got spit on in the face with acid.
But he's still fine.
You know, he got R.
But he was not dying, and he was like, you know what? I'm just gonna... I heard that.
Yeah, I know. Moving on.
I'm just gonna shoot this barrel of gunpowder and
blow everybody up, you know, and couldn't go down, get the zombie off me, which they say they're zombies, and it's like, you don't know what that is. The cop shows up, the security guard from Target, whatever the fuck her name is. Casper, yeah, because she is a ghost now. She literally sits there and shoots Paris Hilton wannabe on site and was like, what was that? It's like, damn, do you work for LAPD or what? Because, like, you're like, what was that? And it's like, it's a human being. What do you mean? Like, you what? And we never... For, like, how many kills were off screen? Greg, Salish, Paris Hilton wannabe.
Yeah.
New chick number 1.
New chick number 1.
I don't remember her name. Fucking,
Well,
technically, Matt died on screen. But he has, like, the worst death. They had, like, a Friday the 13th.
Well, even
not
then,
Friday the 13th. Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, even then he might have already been dead. I don't know. But
yeah, but it's like, why would you... Like, how much money... Hold on.
It was 13. How much money did they make?
How
much was the budget?
How much was the budget?
Oh, I don't know. They made $13 million, though.
How do you make $13 million off that?
That's not much. That's not great.
Well, I'm sure the budget was probably more.
They had to have been for what they did in that movie.
They're like, yeah, we're going to pay some of these people.
They paid all the money that they made from the video games and made a shitty movie.
Yeah.
If the video games were
the budget was $12 million.
That means they profited $1 million.
Profit. A profit of $1 million. That's like a small loan that an orange guy gets. So, but how do you make something so bad? Like, what?
I've seen worse movies.
Then again, when all but one movie production company survives, like one of them lives, the other dies out. They died like over almost 2 decades ago, and it's
probably
like
right after this movie came out.
Like, all right, well, 2004 is when one went out, and then 2008. So that tells you, like, a year later, like, they were like, yeah, we just remembered that you did this movie, so you're done. And then on top of that, the second one doesn't come out till 2005. So another company got roped into that. Actually, I'm curious. The budget for the second one was $6 million. Lionsgate did the second one. Lionsgate was like, yeah, we're going to live a long time, so we're going to do this one.
No wonder why they got Vin Rhymes and fucking Sig Hayes.
Sig Haig.
Haig.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, Lionsgate, it's kind of... What the fuck, though? It's like, how do you fuck that up?
What do you mean?
Like...
Horror movies, you can fuck them up easily. They're all shitty. Not all. But
I mean, it's not... Busta Rhymes versus Michael Myers bad, but it's which no dissing on Busta Rhymes, but I can't really take a horror movie seriously.
I mean, I don't know. You got these people who have just random teenagers apparently, and next thing you know, at the end, they're professional fucking military trained fucking.
They're not
combatants.
They're not. What do you mean?
You got the one chick who fucking jumps 10 feet in the air and dodges a fucking.
She shouldn't have dodged that X.
That dodges an X.
Also, how do you do... No, that's not military training. That's +2 = 4, but this shit don't add up. Like, that's not gonna go from that to... I jumped up 20 feet in the air and shot off a shotgun and dodged it.
How did the people who make the movie not rewatch and be like, oh, this shit doesn't make
Opening night had to be the worst. When they premiered it, they were like...
Well, yeah, because... Like, there's so many scenes that could easily be fixed that aren't... Like, there's multiple scenes where a character will run out of ammo, and then it will show them again, next thing you know.
Shooting off bullets.
And then...
Damn, I'm out of ammo.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, the 20 shots you just did on a, probably 11 mag gun. A gun with 11 bullet mag. It doesn't add up. Oh, we gotta go back for him. It's like, fuck that. I'm out of here. You could have saved the boat till you had all those guns. And you're like, oh, we got them off the beach. Here's an idea. Walk back to the fucking boat. Shoot the motherfucker up and float away.
Yeah.
Just to go to another island to be eaten alive at the very end. Woohoo. The fact that Rudy lives long enough to be in the sequel is disappointing enough. You go from,
How are we gonna get Rudy but not Alicia?
I don't know if Alicia's in that. I don't really want to find out. This is bad enough of a taste in my mouth to be like, yeah, no. It's like eating a bag of chips. And you're like, this is straight trash, but you bought 2, so you're like, yeah, that's so bad, I dare not open the second one. Even though I'm going to waste it, I wasted my money on this, I'm not going to fucking touch it. Like, that is what I get from this movie. It's so bad. What made you warrant a second one? What made you go, damn, that was so good. Can we get a second one of this?
My guess is... I don't know. There's a second game, right?
Yeah, there's multiple games.
When did the second game come out?
Way before the first one, I think. No, way before the first movie came out, I think. Because one came out in 1996.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, especially if they only made $1 million profit from the first movie.
Yeah, I don't even know what the budget of the second one was and what it made.
How did they get the second one? Or I don't know. It's weird. The early 2000s was a weird time for movies, especially horror movies. Maybe they were riding off the wave of Dawn of the Dead and those other movies. I don't know. I guess.
Because I'm trying to figure out how much they made off the second.
I was waiting for you. Wait. What are you looking at?
The budget for the second one and how much it cost. Also, I don't trust Rotten Tomatoes for their
scores.
Yeah.
Well, neither do I. But you agree though when they gave it a 1%.
I mean, yeah, that one I agree on, but there's other movies they've done.
I don't know. I would be more generous than that. I'd give it like a 15, 20. I don't know.
I wouldn't even give it the amount I bought it for. What makes you think I'd give it a 15 or 20?
I don't get the rating system for most movies.
I mean, it's also like
IGN
with
Rotten
games.
Tomato, if you're rating it out of 100, there's no way it's a 1. There's so many worse movies that have higher scores than that.
Okay, so before we even get into that, this is the plot for the second. Get the fucking ad away from me. This is the plot for the second one.
Oh boy.
As a college campus becomes a breeding ground for zombies.
Oh yeah, I remember reading that.
Investigators are charged with putting a halt to the beast killing spree. In order to learn more about the contagion that's plaguing students, professors, and the other unfortunates, the duo needs to get their hands on some infected blood.
That's it.
Doctors plan to use the blood to make a vaccine, but the zombies aren't cooperating. No fucking shit.
They're not cooperating. Sit still.
They'd rather much make a meal out of Alexandra and Ellis. Well, no shit. What? So that came out March 21st, 2006. It's got Sticky Fingers in it. Remember that?
Yep, Sticky Fingers.
Uh,
the Wish version of Blade.
I wish this wasn't a thing.
Would you rather watch the Blade the series than this?
Well, this is an hour. That movie was an hour and a half. Isn't the episode of Blade like an hour?
Yeah, it was like 30 minutes.
30 minutes? So 3 of those?
That show's not that bad.
Blade the series has better nudity than House of the Dead does.
Yeah, at least you actually get some sex scenes in Blade the series.
Yeah, we don't have zombies, which are protection. The zombies, vampires aren't protection in horror films.
Can you find the budget?
Okay, so House of the Dead did $13 million, right?
Yep.
So it did domestic $10 million between I think Canada and the U.S. and then $3 million for international.
Oh brother.
Which is basically they got more than $1 million for budget, but still it's like straight garbage. House of the Dead.
Dose. 2. And yes, we will be doing a review on House of the Dead too, because we're gonna torture ourselves some more. Why not?
They don't have House of the Dead 2 on there. I can't find it.
Let me see. Oh.
This is Mojo. But on the topic, I just want to see if Dawn of the Dead did. So Dawn of the Dead.
Oh, it did really good. Obviously, it's one of the most popular zombie movies
Domestic, it almost did $60 million. It was 102,278,712. And the deleted scenes for Dawn of the Dead are like the acting for this movie. They're the same. Is that like fat people? That's exactly how I would rate this movie. I would give it 1 out of 5 Dawn of the Dead 2004 deleted scenes. Because that's how bad it is.
Well, this whole movie was Dawn of the Dead deleted scene, basically.
The budget for this movie was $26 million. Not for this movie, but Dawn of the Dead. Dawn of the Dead pretty much tripled their budget
Well, what's funny too is this movie, even with the smaller budget this movie has, I guarantee you they wasted all their money on the action scenes. That's all their money went to.
Oh, hey, can you think you could put $1 million of that into the fucking game scenes, putting clips from the game into this shit? Because that's literally how it comes across. It's a good idea. Let's totally fucking.
Let's have dirty explosions, like 2 10-minute action sequences. There's all your money.
Here's the black and white scene from the backstory that no one gives a fuck about. Shit's ridiculous. It makes me cry. Like, if there was ever a mental hospital to not play a movie at. That's one of those things where you can't even enjoy it. Like, it's just so bad.
I enjoyed it.
You did not enjoy it.
I enjoyed it.
You only enjoyed it because there was nudity. Let's be honest.
I enjoyed it. It's good to watch with a buddy and laugh at, okay? If you're watching on your own, then maybe you should be put in said asylum we were talking about.
You have nothing better to do in life if you enjoy this movie alone. Oh yeah, and by the way, she doesn't make Alicia does not make a comeback for the second one. Spoiler.
Obviously, she was like, "Fuck that! I'm not going back for that shit."
This shit is so bad. I'm not gonna do it again. Like, what?
She was like, a movie based on a video game. I'm gonna get my career started, and then
she's been in some other stuff, but they don't look good. One of the posters looks like the album cover of that Drake album where he's up on the Views album.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it literally looks like that, but there's water everywhere. Booking a trip. Let me see if I can figure it out.
You're gonna have to edit some of this out, by the way.
Why?
Because it's just you scrolling through Google looking for.
I mean, why not?
Informational.
It's the first video we've done a review of, like, a movie, so, I mean, it's gonna be shit, you know.
Thanks.
Karma is killed by zombies as he attempts to hold them off of Rudy and Alicia.
Who's Karma?
The one that died in the tunnel.
Oh, her.
Yeah. The characters are so forgettable that you're like, who the fuck?
I don't remember them. I mean, they say her name probably in the beginning, but I don't think they use it once ever again.
Yeah, you're right. Well, I mean, we talked through that part. He's like, yeah, this is my best friend,
And then
Greg.
they call her
He has a great shot at hitting bottles with a rock, or a bottle cap, but, you know, his aim is even worse when he has a gun.
Yeah.
Also, let's give, and no offense when I say this to him, you know, it's a real thing that happened. There's a cross-eyed character, Greg. For some reason, which I don't think he's cross-eyed in the movie, I think just has a lazy eye or he's cross-eyed in real life. But it's like, you look at this guy and you're like, this is the same guy that got trapped in a porta potty and is covered in shit. I'm going to give him the gun.
And again, no offense to the actor, it's not his fault, but he's so hard to take seriously every time.
Yeah, because his face. It's not just his eyes, but it's his like, he's got a funny face. He can't keep a serious face for some reason. Like, I'm just like, much respect to the guy for trying. But then again, this is a movie I can't take serious at all. So what can you say for, you know?
Yeah. With the first kill, they try to, like, with Matt and the thing, they try to make it seem like an old-fashioned kind of zombie movie. And then then it just goes all downhill from there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, when was the last time you saw an old-fashioned zombie movie where they just stuck their hand like Freddy Krueger through somebody's chest?
Well, you know.
And they also jump 1,000,000 feet in the air. They carry axes. They kind of do it some points in movies, but there's not any reason.
Yeah, one does a front flip in the air and throws a tomahawk across the screen.
Yeah, it's not sticks and stones. You know, like.
And then you'll see them running through the woods, and then other parts in action sequences, they'll be just slowly walking in the background.
Yeah, they'll be just jumping behind trees, and it's like, that makes no sense. Like, again, zombies have held weapons before, but they don't fight like villains from The Matrix. You know, it's not Kill Bill. This is not a Kill Bill fight scene where she steps back and the axe flies past her face. This is House of the Dead.
Oh, and then the final fight scene is a sword fight.
Yeah. A sword plus axe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he somehow whoops them until the bad guy gets his head chopped off.
And he's still alive.
Yeah.
And then
he's choking the dude. And the dude Rudy has the worst reaction I've ever seen, because he grabs him by the bottom of his shirt and he's like he got stabbed, and it's like, dude. And he's getting choked out, and it's like, it's literally a headless body.
Yeah, imagine getting your ass whooped by a headless body.
And I get, like, some people are like, well, it's based off the games, but it's like, Yeah.
Well, there's not much to base off of because
It's literally a shooter.
It's just
Let me put it
shooter
from
thing.
what I've seen. It's a first-person shooter.
Mhm.
It's like other than that, I have nothing to go on. No plot or anything. And you would think in the game the characters are a lot better, but in the movie they suck ass.
Yeah.
Like, why would this makes me go, do I really want to play this game? I mean, you do, but it's like at the same time, if the movie's that bad, like, it's just terrible all around. Like, I would rather sit and watch the new Resident Evil show on loop, just that one scene of the doctor singing, than this shit. Either way, I'm gonna, want to leave and can't, but that's what I hate about movies that are based off games too, because a lot of them are like, yeah, the game you love and know, it's badass, and then it's just straight garbage, and you pay to see it, and you're like, damn, I paid, and probably more expensive ticket now, because I don't know how they were in 2003, but it's like, I paid that much money to see this shit, and it's offensive. It's offensive as a fan of games that it's like, hey, yo, look, it's House of the Dead, and it's like...
Kind of reminds me of the Doom movie. The one with The Rock. Although that one wasn't as terrible as this movie, but that one wasn't great either.
Yeah, no, that wasn't great. That was not good at all.
I haven't seen that movie in forever.
Well, watching a movie that's based off a game that you love that they do so poorly is like watching your favorite pet die. That's literally how bad it is. It's like, damn, I just went through this heartbreaking moment of like everything I love and know.
Well, like I said, this time, 2003, early 2000s, was a big time of making video game movies.
But still, you can do it right.
I haven't seen one done right. Blood Rain, the game I had up there, that was for...
Well, I mean, Resident Evil's not too bad.
They got lucky.
The
first one was decent, and then...
But I mean,
actually, I don't mind those movies, really.
But it all comes down to not letting some whatever company handle your shit. You know what I mean? It's the same way with books that get turned into movies. Like, Harry Potter movies aren't bad, but like a lot of people don't like them because of how they changed it up from the book. The Hunger Games, Aragon, like.
Well, yeah, Aragon was just shit because it's a 3-book series that they fit into an hour-and-a-half movie.
No, that's not the whole series. They didn't fit the whole book, all 3 books into one movie.
I think they did.
No, I don't think they did. Did they?
I don't know.
I don't think they did.
Well, because I know, like, one of the whole first books is almost like him training. And they skim through that in, like, a 5-minute compilation.
I don't know, but either way, it's straight garbage. Like, Aragon is bad. Like, I remember watching that, and I never read the books. And it was like, this is okay, but then it's just now I look at it, and there's nothing memorable about that. Literally, the only thing I can take away from Aragon when I was a kid when I watched that was there's a character, and I don't remember his name, but what I remember about him was he can appear in the dark. Like, he can travel through the dark and just appear. So after watching that movie, as ugly as that dude is, no offense to the actor, great makeup, by the way, is when I'd walk in the dark, I'd be like, holy shit, where is he? Like, the last movie that literally got me scared as an adult from watching it, and it wasn't even like, oh my god, this hillbilly from the woods is going to come get me and turn me into wax, was House of Wax. It's like, I like horror movies where it's a real person being a psycho. Like, that's more believable than, Paranormal Activity and other things, like Paranormal Activity, of course, I can believe in that stuff, but it's like killer clowns from outer space. That does not scare me whatsoever. Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street, they're not scary, you know what I mean? But it's like...
They're more there for, like, the slasher.
Yeah, and the slashers are good. I love them, but it's just like... I have yet to see another horror movie so far lately that's made me go, oh my god, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, and that's just, House of the Dead is just...
I haven't seen a good horror movie in a while. Horror movies have gone down.
There's some good new ones.
Halloween is awful. Halloween Kills.
Well, that's just because
it's
Halloween...
the worst movie I've ever seen.
We're really going from... But yeah, comparing
we're just going to review it.
Every
movie in this video.
Oh, no, well, in this aspect of what House of Dead, you can kind of compare it to other good zombie movies, or good zombie movies compared to bad, but it's like, as a horror movie, I think it's awful. Like, it's like Jetty. Freddy versus Jason. It's a horror movie, right? It's supposed to be. It's more of a comedy. Like, it's more laughable. I laugh at it because
there's
it's
some funny scenes, but it's...
To me, Freddy vs. Jason, it's hard not to take it serious when you have a scene where it's Freddy with a guy that looks like Jason Mewes going, bitch. and getting,
Well, he possessed him.
Yeah, but he's smoking out of a bong or.
Well, Freddy's always comical.
You know, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's good, but it's like I would see where House of the Dead is supposed to be something like Stan Helsing.
Yeah.
But it's I think it's just poor budget and poor work.
Not even poor budget, just poor production.
Well, I mean, how you used your budget.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Because if you throw your budget all into one section, it comes out really poor.
Because, yeah, there's been a lot of movies with way less
budgets
that
do really well.
Yeah.
But it's like the guy knew that, I have to... Some of the actors I get, I'm going to tell them up front, I can't pay you, but, if this takes off, you're going to get more movies. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But it's like when you throw all your money at one part of the movie, it's just god-awful. But if you're like, the effects really good, actors are good, the writing is good, like the recordings are good, like the visuals are, you know what I mean? All in all, you split it nicely, you can do it right, It's like, but I just don't know what they were like, let's throw our money into this one little spot, Yeah. So it's just like I don't know what to do about it.
They didn't do one thing good in this movie. The writing was bad, acting's bad, production's bad.
They did do one good thing.
What was it?
They let us know that, hey, here's how to save your friends from seeing a really shitty movie. Tell them don't watch anything by these two production companies. It's like neither one of them exists for a reason anymore. Like they don't exist anymore. And that's the sad part, because it's like you would think of something like based off of a video game, it would be really good. But it's like, no. It's like it sets the precedent of if you know this came from another form of media, do not watch it. You know what I mean? Like if you knew that it came from a book or a video game or a TV show, it's like don't watch it. You know what I mean? Like,
do not watch it. Oh, Scoob, I'm just not knowing.
Yeah, no, don't. And that's another thing, too, is apparently there's some killer game thing on there. But it's like, if you would have made it a thing where the game clips is on the DVD, there's a CD-ROM where you can play it on your PC, and it's really low level so anybody could play it, where you take the movie and put it in and you could play the game. But it's like, you literally put captures from the game in there. When have you ever seen that done before?
Yeah, never. I don't think so.
You don't reuse. Like, I get it if it's like, oh, we don't have the money to shoot a scene, but it's like, then don't do it.
Well, it wasn't even that. They were just doing basic things to try to... Like, during the action sequences, they did a lot because they were trying to show that they're taking parts from the game, basically.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, they do it in such a poor way. Like, no offense to the actors, like...
we're using part of the game. Like,
no, well, I mean, like, you do it like, oh, well... Look how cool this is. It's like in the video game. And
like right before they enter the sewer thingy, it shows a clip of the game part where they're in the sewer, and then it's like, oh, like they're almost trying to make it show the fans, like, oh, see, we're trying to.
But at the same time, like you do it so poorly, it's like.
Well, I know, but I just think that was their approach, which was they just did it badly.
If you would have done the whole movie in first person, like one select character, Rudy, was only in first person, and you never saw his face, that'd be different.
Speaking of which, a first-person horror movie? That could be cool.
Well, yeah, like, and then and times have changed now, but it's like, if you could have movies that you could watch in VR, and you probably can, there's probably a way. They probably look horrible. Or like, first person, but all 3D. That would have been a cool, if 3D was big at the time, like, 3D, but all in first person. But I see Rudy, and it's like, okay. You know what I mean?
Also, can we talk about Rudy, how he just shows up halfway through the movie and is supposed to be the main character?
Yeah, Simon is, well, and I get he has it's his storytelling of what happened, but it's like Simon.
Yeah, you literally introduced to Simon, and he was like, oh, this is my friend.
Yeah.
And this is my girlfriend, blah, blah, blah. And then halfway through, you meet Rudy, and then all of a sudden he's the main character now.
Yeah. It's like, no.
Yeah, it's just...
I mean, and it's cool that you can be introduced to somebody first and then halfway through get a different perspective, because, like, that's what Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul do really well. Is Breaking Bad came first, Walter White comes first, but then you meet Saul Goodman or Jimmy, and then they base a whole show around him from the events to Breaking Bad to after.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that was really well done. But it doesn't make sense to make the perspective of Simon's in charge. He's the thinker, and then Rudy shows up. You know what I mean? Because Rudy was literally trapped in the cabin or whatever with the guy with the camera.
Yeah.
But also, you don't see anybody turn. You
No.
see them turn, but you never see what's her.
Well, yeah, like the girl who got her legs bitten off. She never turned.
Well, I think they were ripped off with or chopped off with the axe.
Oh, that could have been it too. Never mind.
But it's like, well, no, what the character we
Even
say.
the old man, he got bit twice, and he still killed himself. He didn't say.
Well,
He
yeah.
assumed.
Well, because it's like, what's his? We keep saying Paris Hilton, girl that's, oh, well. We call her Paris Hilton knockoff from House of Wax, but it's the blonde girl, it's Greg's girlfriend, and she dies,
Yeah.
and she's turned, but we don't see it. It's like, how do you... And then you can't build on, he's turning people into zombies. It's like, how? Is it the drinking water? Is it the you get bit?
Yeah.
Is it hit? It's like you see her just come out of nowhere and she's turned.
Mm-hmm. Same thing with multiple characters. You'll see them die on screen or off screen because we see a lot of those. The next time you see them, they're just a zombie.
Yeah, Salish is a zombie.
Yep.
And it's like, that makes no sense.
And the other cop.
Yeah, the other guy, the other target security guard.
You don't see what happens to him at all.
Yeah, he's like, oh, do you want backup? And it's like, did they attack him on the boat? And it's like...
How'd he end up there?
Yeah, like, how did he come on shore? Like, oh, I'm going to help, and then got caught. It's literally, it's... Maybe they did off-screen deaths to protect some of the budget because they didn't have the special effects. But it's like, literally,
probably.
How many do we see die? Karma. The main bad guy, a lot of zombies, which, yeah.
And even then, it's not even them dying, it's just them getting covered by zombies.
Yeah. You don't see
You
him
don't
get
see
ripped.
blood or anything.
Yeah, literally, Casper was the only character to, like, really get, the no legs.
Yeah.
And it's like, that makes no sense. Why would you cut away from their deaths? Because that's what I like to see as a horror movie fan. Like, it's very rough, but it's like, I like to see the death and the gore. Mm-hmm. But it's like, you spent more time putting in an action sequence where it's, oh, well, she jumps in the air and shoots a shotgun, and then the buck spread or whatever it's supposed to be comes out and hits.
Yeah.
It's like, that's, no. Like, I don't want to see that. Like,
the buck spread wasn't even accurate as to what it is in real life. It was one big bullet that went into
20
different
bullets.
actual bullets.
Yeah, no.
It's what even just shards of metal.
And that's the thing, too. I think they did... What makes me wonder is, did you put it in the game clips in between the action sequences so you can move your people across the area? Because 1 second they're there. And that's another thing, too. When Rudy does his little zone out all by himself and he shoots a gun or throws a grenade or something, he literally is by himself. There's no zombies on screen with him, and then they're there again.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is just poorly made movie.
Well, like I said, there's one scene when Liberty's being killed and he's watching her.
Yeah.
You can see visibly, like when it starts to zoom in on him, you can see 2 visible zombies
Running around.
No, they're not even running. They're standing there.
Yeah.
Not moving.
Yeah, it's there. Like I said, it's the Blade 2 fight scene where it's the guards.
Yeah, they're waiting.
The familiars, they're like, do I fight him now? And it's just like, yeah. So.
This has been a long rant.
Yeah, it's a long rant of why not to watch this. And that's why I think the horror movie scene has gotten so bad is because they're like, damn, well, we know that people don't like this, but they like this, so here's the 5th Scream, which I like the Scream movies, and I like Halloween, but my favorite Halloween is the one that has nothing to do with Michael Myers. because it's just turned into how do we make more money? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like zombie movies have gotten still been good, like Train to Busan and stuff, but it's like, other than that, well, that's the thing too. Like zombie movies have turned into, there was a whole time frame where it was just shitty zombie movie after the other. Sci-fi B movies you would see.
Oh yeah.
On Redbox that never made it to the theater. They were not good enough, and it's just, or sci-fi or whatever, and then that's it. And it's like,
there's not very many good zombie movies, really.
Anything George A. Romero, except for a few that I can think. There's like a few that are not so great, but I don't think he really had all the hands on. Land of the Dead is really good, and a lot of people don't really talk about that one, but Land of the Dead is a really good one too.
I mean, what's the name of that movie? Zombieland. It's more of a comedy, but it's a good zombie
It's
movie.
a really good zombie movie.
I mean,
because I feel like with some zombie movies, they get too into some stuff and they just skip out on others. Because like that's the thing about Zombieland is, yeah, it's a comedy, but it has serious points. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
And one the zombies portrayed are pretty good.
Yeah.
Have you seen the second one?
I've seen parts of the second one. I haven't got to watch it all the way.
They get a little more goofy-ish.
Yeah. Well, there's the Homer or whatever.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, that's the thing is, I remember when I watched Zombieland, it scared me. Like, when I was younger and it first came out, it was like, holy shit.
Yeah, they actually...
And then it's a comedy.
They look vicious.
Yeah.
A lot of blood.
Like the opening sequence,
Mm-hmm.
The
Whom to Bell Tolls.
Well, no, the rules.
Oh, yeah.
I love the opening sequence. I don't like the song as much. It's a good song, but it's over. I've had my feelings about Metallica, but, like... It's, like the music from House of the Dead. They have the song House of the Dead or whatever.
Oh, is that the name of the song?
I think so. It probably is because the dude says it. But it's like you have to, you know what I mean? Like the song placement makes really good too because they have the whole action sequence is like song, like audio, and then lyrics come up. The music and then the lyrics stay for a little bit, go away.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you gotta have lyrics, like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't get pumped up to that. I was like, this is fucking stupid. Like, I know we keep going off the movie, but it's just.
Oh yeah, and even then the music
it's hard not
really
to
seem to fit that action sequence.
Yeah, and it's like it's hard not to compare this to other movies because it's like I've seen what people can do with a zombie movie in a horror film, and it's like this just isn't it.
But yeah, you gotta think though. This is 2003.
I mean, yeah, but when did House of Wax come out? Like.
Well, House of Wax isn't a zombie movie either.
Well, I'm saying horror, like at the time, horror movie, and I know
I mean, you had some good ones, but
and I get it's a video game based movie, but it's like Resident Evil. Didn't a Resident Evil come out before this?
Yeah, 2001.
It's like there's so many things you could look at to be like you could, and that's the thing too is like I would hate to be anybody that worked on anything George A. Romero and get a shout out from that movie. Because it's like you call us out and say, "Hey, George A. Romero movies."
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, I feel like this is George A. Romero movie."
And it's like this is nowhere near.
Yeah, no.
No. Like the point you brought up with the joke is like, "Oh, what if he comes out the house and they shoot up Broody?" And it's like, "Yeah, that would have been a really good thing to do." Like that would have been like I hate horror, like I don't like every horror movie that does that, kill off every character, but it makes a point of like in the original Night of the Living Dead, the main guy, well he's introduced second too, like Rudy is introduced later on, and so is the last surviving character before he dies in Night of the Living Dead, the original, but he does it so well because he becomes the center of gravity in that movie. But Rudy is just like, okay, I'm supposed to care about this guy.
Yep.
It's like, I don't know you.
And he doesn't even do anything special or do anything different from the rest of the characters.
You literally saw two people die, and you could have prevented it. Like, what was he doing in the house when Casper died? Wasn't he fighting a zombie or no?
Well, he broke open the window, he climbed through it, and then he turned around and grabbed her.
No, he sat there for a minute. Like, literally sat there for a minute while she was fighting him off.
Yeah, well, who knows? It wouldn't surprise me.
It's like, I just don't understand it, how you can build that up as a main character and then just be the absolute worst.
He might be the worst final character.
Well, he's not the only final character, but he's...
Well,
I wish Simon would have gotten off with Alicia, or even the two final girls.
Yeah, you could have had Alicia be the final girl.
Alicia by herself, or Alicia and Karma, and it's like fucking Rudy, the football player, like.
And that's the thing too. In the beginning of the movie, Alicia hardly talks.
Yeah, and then
then at the end she becomes secondary character.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden is like all badass and everything, and like, where was she the first half of the movie?
Yeah.
Not even the first half. Like 3/4 of the movie, she didn't really.
Well, she didn't reappear till they went to the island and they saw everybody was missing at the party area.
Yeah.
And it's just like, how do you create something so bad?
There's a lot of bad movies out there, but like I said, I've seen worse.
I mean, yeah, me too, but like that. I think of Venom 2005. It's a movie that half the characters you don't remember their names, and you don't care about them, But it's so enjoyable that it's like, well, I can take this movie that I sit here and see, like a bunch of random characters that nobody cares about get killed, compared to a movie that it's like all the characters that seem interesting and you want to get into are killed. But Rudy, who literally gets no backstory at all, other than him telling about everything, lives. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would have liked to see what's up with more about Karma and Simon and freaking Greg and his girlfriend, and like more about Casper and other characters. But it's like Rudy was just made the main point, I feel like. And it's like, it's cool if you have characters that nobody cares about, but don't make characters the side character that you're not supposed to care about, but are more interesting than the main character.
Yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, that's no. It's just
every character was weird.
No, I mean they were in their own way, but like
Casper in the beginning was a cop who was like, "Oh, we need to inspect the boat," and then they leave. And then there's like, oh, well, let's chase after these guys. And then she shows up on the island and just starts blasting zombies away.
But, I mean, you also had movies where cops come into the situation and like, oh, you killed somebody. It must have been you. You know what I mean? So it's a good balance to have a cop that's like, oh, I'm going to help you guys out. But then it's like, if you would have just left, not dealt with that, like, oh, I'll just wait till he comes back.
Yeah.
Because we've seen that he knows we're following. Could have arrested him, but it's like you got yourself killed because you got into a situation that you had no clue was going on. And also, I thought maybe she was clued in, but it's like, why did you not know? Like, when she shot what's her name like that, the blonde girl, it's like, how did you not know that she was? Wow, you made it seem like you knew the situation, but you didn't.
Also, didn't Kirk? He tells the story, or
yeah, Kirk tells the story, and it's like, didn't you know this shit? Like,
well, he says at first he was like, "Oh, that island is called the Island of the Dead," or whatever, and then he takes them there, and then after stuff starts going down, that's when he tells them, "Oh, the backstory of."
Yeah, and it's like you pulled out a gun and killed a bunch of them on your boat.
Yeah, he acted like it was so normal,
and then you're like, "Damn, this is true." It was supposed to be a hoax, a myth, but it's like you literally got into it with the zombies and then go tell the story.
Yeah.
Oh, I would have done it for free. That's the thing, too, when Kirk was like, I would have done it for free. Here's an idea. Why not make him a villain? Because he's hiding cigars and weapons. It's like, why don't you make it a thing that he's...
I actually liked he's probably the only character I liked, to be honest. I liked his character.
But, I mean, like, it would have been a pretty cool build-up if it was like him. Oh, I've been supplying him with weapons for years.
Oh, yeah, bringing people to the island?
Yeah, like... Literally could have had a Scooby-Doo Zombie Island type situation where, oh, well, you've been shrieking into people to come into the islands for years so we can kill them or turn them into our army, but it's like... You didn't. You just made Kirk a good guy, and then I'm fully aware of the time here. Okay, don't rush me.
I'm just making sure.
Yeah, I know. I've been paying attention.
This
is a long ass rant, and like 1/4 of this whole conversation has been the movie. But no, all in all, like at least it was only an hour and a half. But also, it felt really long, but really quick.
It did. Pacing
It's bad.
was an issue. Because
It's bad.
For an hour and a half movie, hour and 20, it felt like we were here a lot longer.
Well, the thing is like, let me see. I see something here. I got off track. So, Dawn of the Dead from 2004, which came out, a year after this movie.
Back on Dawn of the Dead.
It was an hour and 40 minutes.
Hour and how much?
40 minutes. It was 10 minutes more than this movie.
Yeah.
But somehow the pacing is better on that one. Because I want to say the last 30 minutes, if that, is dedicated to them escaping the city to go to the island.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you could have made more time out of that, because it felt like 30 minutes was dedicated to them figuring to get on the island and going to the party and meeting up with the girl and dealing with the cop and dealing with the boat thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then 30 minutes was dedicated to getting to the fucking house, the action scene, and entering the house and finding more stuff. And then the rest was dedicated to them going down and out and then going out.
Like on paper, when you break it down, it doesn't sound like much.
No.
But when you watch it...
Yeah, because it's like I felt like we were going through the woods with them for how long?
Yeah.
And the action scene was so...
Well, what's dumb is about that house. How many times they go to that house?
3 times.
3 movies.
Every separate character.
3 times.
3 times separate characters. First time was the couple, then it was them, and them again.
Yeah. They go there, and they're like, that's because I guess they go back to the boat. Also, is that the only building on this entire island?
Yeah. No, it was. It was literally the only full building. Like, they had the party area. Not only that, if you were on the boat, if you had a radio, which I don't know if he did, I would have called out for help. And also, who is AMS?
Who?
AMS. Was that the people on the boat, too?
Oh, I don't know.
Because the helicopter said AMS. Air Medical Services, maybe?
I don't know.
Again, no buildup of who the fuck these... And that would have been a cool thing, too, is... Well, and they might deal with it in the second one. I don't know.
Maybe they're coming to cover up what happened.
Yeah, the umbrella, like an umbrella company type thing.
Yeah.
But no, it's like... And again, this may have been just us ignoring the movie on how bad it was, and we're, like, just so uninterested. But it's like, how did you do something like that? Well, I think that's the longest rant we can do without... I don't know what else to talk about it.
I mean, maybe... could turn this into a podcast series of us
Yeah, no, I think...
on movies.
No, I think we should just leave this to a review. But, no, I guess it's just the writing, the pacing, the budget, and stuff just really killed it. If you could have done a good mix for $12 million, yeah, you would have been fine. But it feels like a movie I'm just going to put on in the background. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Wrong Turn, I get interested in all other kinds of horror movies. But here I'm just like... I spend a good horror movie, I should be like, damn, that was spooky. That was, like, really scary. But this, I spend more time nitpicking. Like, that whole entire time we were watching it, we were complaining.
Yeah.
And saying, like, what the fuck is this?
Making fun of everything.
It's like, I shouldn't be doing that. It's like... Yeah, it's just... I don't know why you can... How would you make a movie that I'm just going to sit... And I guess that's just us, and some people like it. But at the same time, like... Why would I sit here and go, wow, that was a really good movie, when I'm like, this action scene makes no sense. Why is the... You know what I mean? It's like, I love death race movies. I love the death race movies. But my nitpick about 1 and 2 is... Literally, if you watch the second one, which is the sequel or prequel to the first one... They reuse shots. Like, no joke, in Death Race. There's literally points where the first movie, there's never a nighttime race. Or no, the first one has the last race is the nighttime. They're all during the day, and it's raining, and it's cloudy and dark out. The second one all happens in a bright, sunny day, except for, like, the last 5 minute or 2 of the movie before the credits. You can watch it, and they reuse shots. Literally, it'll cut from sunny, bright to dark and cloudy, and dark at night. And it's like, that is just annoying. Like, I get it, you're trying to save on money, but it's like, here's an idea, just take the time to, you know, do new shots.
There's a lot of low budget, bad movies that have some good quality to them. This isn't one of them.
No, it's not. Like, there's some movies out there that are low budget, but it makes it cool because it's not. It's something that came out that I can enjoy. That it's like, yeah, this is low budget, but.
Well, I've even seen, like I said, you said you've never watched it, but when I was a kid, the Killer Channel, it was like the Sci-Fi Channel but for horror movies, and it played a lot of bad horror movies.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it was known for. But there was a lot of ones that were bad, but I could actually get into and enjoy. Just not really getting into this one.
No, because like Venom from 2005 has some really good shots and like really good story building. Well, I mean, I don't know, but it's just one of those things where it's one of those movies that I'm just like, yeah, I'd rather not watch this. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna put this on the shelf, and the only time I'm gonna pull it out is be like, hey, this is a piece of shit. You know what I mean? Like,
you want to watch it?
Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not gonna. I
wasted an hour and a half of my time. So do you?
Yeah, no, I would not recommend this to anybody, especially if you just like, oh, I just got into horror games and House of Dead. Oh, there's a movie. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't recommend it.
Yeah. No.
I've seen what the media does to games, like Halo, the show. I've heard it's really fucking bad. Like, I've heard it's bad. Like, and Resident Evil, I've heard it's
mixed.
Well, I mean, Halo has been mixed, but Resident Evil, I've not seen a single person so far that's like, I love this show.
Stick to the... I would say stick to the animated movies for those, but even the newest one that they did for Netflix, Infinite Darkness, was alright. Wasn't great.
Well, that's the thing, too, is like, so many people go, oh, well, you know, Wesker's black in the new show, and it's like, I don't care about diversity. I'm cool with seeing that actor, because he's a really... I can't remember his name, but he's a really good actor. But it's just the whole singing sequence and stuff. There's just... And it's like the thing that your dad was bringing up about how if you bleed, that's when the zombies sent you. And it's like, when have you ever seen that before in a Resident Evil movie?
Yep.
It's like they always detect you. And so... And just to add it now makes no sense. So it's like, that's why I'm concerned for the Twisted Metal show. I'm like, that's going to be bad because history has shown, like, you know, that...
The only good thing with the Twisted Metal... Well, okay, I haven't played Twisted Metal, so don't shoot my head off for this. But there's not really a story that they can screw up.
Technically, yes, there is. I mean, yeah, you can kind of... Like, you... With Twisted Metal, the thing is most people look at it like Death Race or Car Combat, and they're like, oh, it's just car combat. And it's like, if you've ever sat down and looked at the timeline for these games and the lore, it's like, you can't just go, oh, well, these guys are racing across the city. Like Blood Drive. Blood Drive was all right, but it did really poor. It got canceled after the first season. It was never seen again. But with Twisted Metal, it's like, you know, you have these characters keep reappearing at these levels. And it's a loop in their brain. And it's like they're all trapped in a coma or some sort because so many characters are like, I don't want to do this anymore. So they wake up. And it's like the whole concept of Calypso stealing souls and well, the thing is, like, 4, which is not technically canon but is supposed to be, it was by a different studio at the time. He collects all the souls. So it's like, I want to see in the show, I want at least one character to wake up and be like, damn, I feel like I've raced here before. I feel like I've been here before, you know, and it's just, I don't know. It's Peacock of all companies, too. But let's just go from House of the Dead to... Regardless, it's the standard that we have in society for horror movies, and I just don't think this fits the standard, especially as a video game to movie. So...
Like I said, I've never played the game, but what I can think of out of all games that have turned to movies, this is probably the worst.
Yeah. I mean, Doom is definitely down there as well, but it's like, at what point do I go, well, shit, you know?
Yeah.
So,
we're gonna wrap this up?
Yeah, I think this is a good, you know, just don't watch the fucking movie. My voice is going away enough to, you know, giving up my voice to tell you don't watch this piece of shit.
He's screamed enough. That's the most I've heard him rant on.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous.
We'll be back with
part two
of
I wish I was dead in this house of the Dead.
Yeah, basically.